Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We're learning Mishna Nazir, Parakeh, Chapter 5, Mishnah Aleph, Mishnah 1. Bei Shammai Yomim. Bei Shammai say, Hektish tois hektish. Hektish, you consecrate something to the Beis HaMikdash, and you did it, and it was done by mistake. Hektish, it still works. Beis Hillel say, Eina hektish. It's not hektish. Now, this is not specifically talking about Naziris yet, right? We'll get to Naziris. But the discussion by Naziris really first starts with a more general concept about with this concept, if you consecrate something and it was consecrated by mistake, will it take effect or not? Now, when we talk about hektish here, consecrating it, we mean whether you're consecrating it for a sacrifice or to be the property of the Beis HaMikdash. Right? Two types of hektish. Sometimes you take an animal you could sanctify it for a carbon for a sacrifice, and let's say the animal has a blemish, right? So you can't consecrate as a sacrifice. So you consecrate it as being part of the property of the Beis HaMikdash. Beis HaMikdash takes it, sells it, and the money goes to the Beis HaMikdash treasury. But either type of consecration that we're talking about, either one is what the Mishnah is talking about. Now, the point here is, at least according to Beis Shammai, the point is like this, and this is an important idea to understand in the Mishnah. Ordinarily, a transaction, such as a sale or gift, that is based on a mistake does not take effect, right? If you gave someone a gift based on a certain assumption, right, and the assumption is incorrect, there was a mistake. If it's a mistake, it doesn't work. Since a consecration is a type of transaction, donating something to the temple treasury or to the mizbeach, to the altar, it too should not take effect if made by mistake. Any transaction that is made by mistake is not a good transaction.
For whatever reason?
Because of mistake.
I mean, for what the mistake?
For whatever reason the mistake was, right? But it was a mistake. We can consider the transaction as mistaken. It's not going to work. Well, and so therefore you would say that sanctifying an animal should be the same way. And Beis Shammai say no, it's not that way. Now, without getting too much, I shouldn't say without getting too much involved, there is a concept called tamura. Tamura means if I have an animal that was sanctified to be a sacrifice, and I decide, you know what, I want that animal. I'm going to keep that animal. So you know what, I'll take another animal and I'll switch it, and I'll say, instead of this animal, it'll be this animal. So the Torah says, number one, you're not allowed to do that. Number two, if you do it, the animal that you try to substitute, it will become sanctified, and the original one will also stay sanctified. Okay? Now, by Tamura, there's the following case, and this is a case that everybody agrees with. Now, in the case of Tamura, if someone intended to say, okay, this white ox should take the place of this consecrated one, meaning he was making a tamura, and he thought, and he wanted the white ox to be the substitute for the other animal that was sanctified.
Because it was better?
Whatever. Doesn't make a difference. But that's why he wanted to do it, right? He went ahead and he meant to say the white ox, and instead, by mistake, whatever reason, whenever he wasn't thinking straight, but for whatever reason, by mistake, he said the black one. It's a mistake, right? Well, guess what? When it comes to Tamura, it works. Even though it was a mistake, it's based on the words of the Torah, that if you made a mistake in Tamura, it still counts. Now, Tamura is a form of consecrating. And we find there that if you do it, if there's a mistake, it works. So Beis Shammai say that is now the premise, that's now the basis to say that any kind of hekdesh, any consecrating done by mistake works. That's Beis Shammai's opinion. According to Beis Hillel say no. Beis Hillel say that you can't learn all consecrations from all hekdesh from Tamura, because Tamura is starting from something that's already hekdesh. Right? By Tamura, because you substitute, because you try to substitute the animal for an already sanctified animal, the Torah there says, okay, no, it becomes the substitute also becomes consecrated. And if we know that the Torah says it even works by a mistake, that's that there, you're already starting with something that was sanctified, right? The hektish is present. The first animal is sanctified. And the way they say it here is, and now what happens is that some of that and that sanctification now goes over to the other animal. But the point is, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting already. There's a hektish presence. There's a hektish that's present. So there, where you already have hektish that's present, there the Torah said, even if it's done by mistake, the tamur, the substitution by mistake, it works. But we're not talking about mistakes here. We're talking about a case, as we shall soon see, a case where you are taking a regular animal and you're consecrating it, but there was a mistake involved. You're trying to first start consecrating. There's no consecration present anywhere. You're starting from scratch. You can't learn that from Tamura. And therefore, Beis Hillel say that if it was a mistake, it's not going to work. So now says the Mishnah, Ketzad. What's the case that we're talking about? Amar, a person said, Shar shachar sheyetze mi beisi rishon. The black ox that's going to walk out of my house first. Harehu hektish, it's hektish. That's what he said. The black ox that will come out of my house first is hektish. He doesn't say, if the first one that comes out is black, it's hektish. He says the first one, the black ox that will come out first, that's his expectation, right? The black ox that will come out first is hektish. The yatsa lavan, and what walked out first? The white one.
Then that doesn't count.
So, well, that's a mistake, right? Beis Shammai yomim hektish. Beis Shammai say it's hektish. So it's a mistake. Beis Shammai say hektish by mistake. It's still a hektish. Ubeis Hillel lo remain a hektish. Beis Hillel say it's not hektish. Now, in this case, right, the understanding of when the person said the black ox that will come out from my house first, he means to consecrate the first animal that came out, right? It wasn't about a black ox that walks out of my house first. It's the first animal. The point really is the first animal that comes out, which he expects to be a black ox. Okay, so what was it consecrating? What did it mean to consecrate? The black ox that comes out first.
As opposed to
a condition. If the first black ox that comes out is black, then it's hektish. And it didn't come out. The first one to come out was white. Beis Shammai would say that's not hektish. That's not a mistaken hektish. The whole hektish was conditional on it being black. And it wasn't black. So there's no hektish. But here the point...
I'm thinking there are two...
No. The point is that you're talking about, but the point here is his assumption, his expectation was it would be a black ox that came out first, and that black ox that comes out first, he wants to sanctify. He wants to sanctify. And what happened? Wasn't a black ox that came out. It was a white one. Was it a mistake? Yeah, because even though he's trying to sanctify the first animal that comes out, but his assumption was it would be a black ox. So in his mind, he was sanctifying the black ox that was coming out first. And it wasn't the black ox that came out first. It was a white one. It was a mistake. Says Beis Shammai, still hektish. Still hektish. Because at the end of the day, you wanted to sanctify. It wasn't conditional to be black. It was you wanted to sanctify the first one. You assumed it was the black one. All right, it wasn't the black one. Mistake. But it's still hektish. And Beis Hillel say, no, it's not hektish. At the end of the day, you meant to consecrate a black ox that came out first, and it wasn't. And therefore, it's a mistake, and Beis Hillel say it's not hektish. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi. Well, this is what...